Chapter 1. Ashely Puff. My alarm woke me up just in time for my morning chores. Even though sleep is still very much in my eyes, I have to sober up and get my chores done before my parents wake up, or I won't like the consequences that will follow after. I walk into the bathroom and splash water on my face to clear the sleep off my eyes, and then go downstairs to start my daily chores. I did my chores silently in order not to wake my parents up. I remember the one time that I accidentally woke them up because of the noise I was making while cleaning the house. My parents were beyond furious. My dad hit me with the vacuum cleaner so hard that I couldn't eat for a week because my ribs were swollen. Ever since our family business went bankrupt 5 years ago, out of frustration, my parents developed anger issues and became very aggressive towards me. At first, they would emotionally abuse me, but as time went on, they started abusing me physically. The drugs they are taking aren't helping matters either. Many at times, I am tempted to report them to the Social Welfare and Child Abuse Commission, but I could not because I am afraid. What if they don't believe me? What if they take me away and give me foster parents that are just like my parents? And so many other what if prevented me from reporting them. Even my friends in school do not know what is going on in my house. I usually use makeup to cover up the bruises. The ones that are not able to cover up, I lied that I fell down the stairs or the bed or hit a table or the wall. My friends brought my life up and nicknamed me the clumsy girl, since I lost too much balance. If only they know the real cause of the bruises. If only they know. Luckily enough for me, I was able to finish all my chores and make breakfast without my parents waking up. They must have had a long night yesterday. They came back home around 1 in the morning. Although I was awake, I did not even bother myself to go downstairs because if I dare do that by mistake, I will surely wake up in the hospital, that is if I even wake up at all. I rushed into my bedroom and quickly took my bath, dressed up and rushed out of the house. I let out a breath I didn't even know I was holding. I made my way to the bus stop just in time the school bus arrived. "Good morning, Mr. Joe," I greeted the bus driver as I got into the bus and looked for a seat by the window and sat down. I took out my eyepiece and connected it to my phone as I closed my eyes and enjoyed the rest of the ride to school. "Thank you for the ride, Mr. Joe," I waved at the driver, who waved back at me. Although it's not compulsory to greet the driver or thank him because technically he is just doing his job. I believe in appreciating people for what they do even if you are paying them to do that work. It's not going to cost you anything if you do that, but as for the person, he or she will feel loved and important. I made it to my locker and I frowned as I reached there. Usually my friends and I gather ourselves here, just and gossip a little bit before heading to class together. But right now, none of them were present. I checked the time on my phone and frowned deeper. Usually by this time Sophia and Lisa are supposed to be here already. I waited for another 5 minutes but none of them came. Maybe they planned on not coming to school today, I concluded. But why will they plan to tell me? I questioned myself. My friends are one of the reasons why I still have my sanity. Whenever I am with them, I forget all the pains I am feeling. I started making my way to class alone, and that will be like the first and forever that it is happening. "Hey Ashely, good morning." Cole, a classmate of mine, greeted me. "Morning to you too, Cole," I reciprocate his greetings. "Why are you alone today? Where are your sisters?" Cole asked. "Everyone usually calls my friends and I sisters. They are actually not wrong though. We see and treat each other as if we are sisters." I flex my shoulders up. "I don't know. I just arrived a few minutes ago. Maybe they are already in class." Cole tried to think of possible places my friends could be. "Maybe," I responded and kept on walking. Why didn't I think of that? They must have thought I was coming to school today and went ahead without me. After all, I was not in school last week and gave them a reason that I am sick. They must have thought I was still sick. Although I wasn't actually sick. My mom hit me with a pan and it left an injury on my forehead and I needed it to heal before I go out because I don't think I can survive the looks and questions I will get from people. Suddenly, a hand dragged me into a classroom. Everywhere was dark and I couldn't see a single thing. "Who is there? And what do you want from it? I asked in a frightened voice. I don't usually get bullied here in school, so I wonder who is doing this. "Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to everyone. Happy birthday to you. A lot of familiar voices in the dark started singing. They must have gotten the wrong person because today isn't my birthday. Just as I wanted to open my mouth and talk, someone on the lights, and lo and behold, standing before us, my friends holding a cake with a big smile on their faces. Happy birthday, Ashely. Period. They all screamed at once. I am actually touched by what they did, but today isn't actually my birthday, so I wonder why they thought so. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. But today isn't actually my birthday. It's next week. I remained with them. And they gave me a look of shock. What? Period. I questioned when I saw their expressions. You can't be serious, right? Bring out your phone and check today's date on the calendar, Lisa commanded. I brought out my phone and checked the date. What? Huh? I can't believe today is 19th already. I really thought it was next week. Who in her right sense will forget her own 18th birthday? Period. I questioned my sanity. You obviously. Period. Elsa just at me. I didn't even know I was thinking out loud. How the hell did you even forget your own birthday? Period. Lisa questioned me. I honestly don't know either. To think that I have been waiting for my 18th birthday so that I can get freedom from my parents. We will talk about that later on. Ashely makes a wish and blows out the candles. It's already melting. Eunice, who was holding the cake, moved closer to me. I blew the candles, then closed my eyes and made a silent wish in my heart. So to celebrate your 18th birthday, we are going clubbing tonight, Lisa excitedly stated. My heart immediately picked up a race. I started saying before Eunice cut me off. Don't even think about saying no. We are all going in, that's final, Eunice said, and before I could reply to her, the bell rang and we all hurried up to our class. All through the day, I was thinking of how I could go out of the house without my parents noticing. Chapter 2. Nervous couldn't describe the word of how I am feeling right now. Lisa had earlier sent me the address of the club. We are to meet in front of the club before entering together. I wore a short lava red dress that hugged me tight like a second body. The back of the dress is entirely open, leaving my back to be bare. I matched the dress with red high heels and red lipstick. I look at myself in the mirror. I could hardly believe this was me. On a normal day, I won't be dressing like this. Well, on a noms, I wouldn't even be going to a club at all. Eunice gifted me this dress and made me promise her that I will be wearing it tonight. I must admit I actually look very hot in the dress. Since I have flesh in the right places, the clothes fit me quite well. My biggest problem is how am I going to leave the house without drawing my parents' attention. I removed my shoes and held it in my hands along with my purse. I quietly tiptoed down the stairs, trying my best not to make any sound at all. I am able to successfully reach down the stairs and make my way to the kitchen. I plan on using the back door to go out. As I entered the kitchen, I mistakenly stumbled upon a bottle that was left carelessly on the floor of the kitchen. I immediately froze and my heart started beating irregularly. I'm afraid that my parents will wake up because of the sound the bottle made. If they actually wake up, I will surely end up dead. I waited for some minutes and I didn't hear any movement or sound. I let out a deep breath I was holding. I quickly rushed to the door and ran out of the house. I didn't stop until I was 3 minutes away from our house. I wore my shoes and waited for the Uber I ordered while I was still in my room. The cab dropped me in front of the club. I saw people queuing up to enter the club. I brought out my phone to call my friends so that I could inform them that I had arrived when I heard someone calling my name from a distance. I walked towards the direction of the voice and saw all my friends standing. I took a double breath when I saw them. Damn, they look so hot. Elsa is putting on a short black dress that has a deep cut V neckline that causes her breast to be on display. Eunice is also putting on something similar to Elsa, except hers it's dark blue in color, while Lisa is wearing a white dress that is so little that it can fit a 10-year-old. Here guys, you are all looking very hot tonight. Period. I hype them as I reach the place they are standing. You too, Ashely. You look like a hotter and sexier version of yourself. They all hyped me back. So how are we going to enter the club? The queue is too long and it will take us forever to get in, Elsa complained. She is indeed very correct. The line has even increased by at least 30 people since I arrived, and that's crazy because I just came 5 minutes ago. Oh, leave that to me. Period. Lisa winked and started walking towards one of the bouncers that was answering a phone call just next to us. He ended his call and started conversing with Lisa, who is already running her hands all over his chest. Trust Lisa to always be ready to flirt. Every group of friends has one who is the player among them, and Lisa happens to be ours. After a few minutes, Lisa beaconed on us to come over and we did. The bouncer led us to the side of the club towards an isolated door. This door, it's only used by the workers. You can go in. Just walk straight, it will lead you to the club's party hall, the bouncer explained, and we thanked him. See you later, right? Period. He asked Lisa. Definitely handsome. Period. Lisa dropped a peck on his cheek as we entered the club. Are you actually going to see him later? Period. You nice? Asked Lisa. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, he isn't bad looking at all, Lisa answered as we arrived at the party hall. Everywhere is full of people dancing and some drinking while others are making out with each other. Let's go to the bar. Period. Elsa suggested, and we headed there and took our seats. Hello, gorgeous ladies. What can I offer you? A handsome bartender asked us. How about you offer us yourself? Period. Eunice bit her lips trying to flirt with the bartender. I can't believe these shameless girls are actually my friends. The guy laughed out loud. Honestly speaking, he has an amazing deep voice. As much as I would love to be your order, I am not available on the menu, the guy said, looking directly at Eunice as if he was waiting for her responses. Well, that's too bad. Can we at least get your name? Period. Eunice stared at the bartender with cute eyes. I don't understand why she keeps using the term we instead of I. I can't remember us telling her that we are interested in the bartender too. The name is Caleb. Will you guys like to make an order now? Period. Caleb switched back into a professional voice. Yes, give us a one-man army shot, Lisa ordered on our behalf. I will have a soft drink, please. Something that doesn't contain alcohol. Thank you, I ordered for myself. I have never drank before and I don't want today to be the first time I will. I need to stay very much sober and alert so that I can return home in one piece by 11 o'clock. Seriously, soft drink. You are too upright. Learn to lose up a bit, Lisa warned me. I didn't give her any reply. They will not understand what it means to be in a situation like mine. Here you go, moms. The bartender brought our orders. Each and every one of us took our drinks in our hands and Elsa decided to make a toast. A toast to our birthday girl. Elsa lifted up the glass. A toast to her. Period. The rest of us responded and took a sip of our drink. Soon my friends were tipsy and got on drinking. Let's dance, Lisa's voice echoed in the midst of the loud music. We all made our way to the dance floor and started dancing with each other. As we kept on dancing, I could feel someone's eyes on me. I took courage, turned back and met the daring eyes of the person. He is sitting with 4 other guys. I could not make out his face completely, just the outline of his body. Even as of that, I know that the man is hot. Even though his friends are talking to him, I could feel his eyes on me. His stares gave me a kind of boldness I don't usually possess. I turned around and started tweaking to the music. I shake my body up and down knowing fully well that the man is looking at me. After a few minutes of dancing, I turned back and to my disappointment, the man was no longer there again. Just then, I felt someone place his hands on my waist. I turned to give him a piece of my mind and lo and behold, it is the man that was staring at me earlier. He pulled me closer to him and whispered into my ears, I am not the kind of person you tease and get away with me, Akira, His voice was low and dangerous. It made me shiver down to my spine. There is something in me that tells me he is a dangerous man. But instead running away from him, I wrap my hands around his neck. And who told you that I want to get away with it? Period. I smirked at him. You have no idea what you are asking for. He let out a laugh. He has such a lovely voice. I don't mind listening to his laugh all day. The man started moving our body according to the rhyme of the music and I followed his lead. I turned around and started to grope him. He encouraged me by pulling my body closer to his body. There is no more space between us. I could feel his hard body completely pressed to my back. I kept pressing my body on him more seductively when I felt his hardness pressed on my back. I feel very proud that I am able to get a reaction out of him. He started to drop light kisses on my bare neck, making my body go on fire. I kept biting my lips to prevent me from moaning out loud. You have no idea what you are doing to me, Miyakara, he huskily whispered into my ears. And just before I could reply, the alarm on my phone rang. I have earlier tied my phone on my lap so that I will know the time to leave. Well, just like Cinderella, it's time to go. I have got to go. I said to the man, and without waiting for his reaction, I flew. I went over and tapped Elsa at the back and told her that I am going home. She waved at me and went back to dancing. I looked for the other two so that I can wish them goodbye too. I spotted Lisa making out with a guy at the corner of the club while Elsa is dirty dancing with a guy. Not wanting to interrupt them, I decided to just leave. I untied my phone on my lap to see a text from the cab driver. Damn, he has been waiting for me for the past 30 minutes. I quickly rushed out of the club. Sorry. I apologized to the driver for keeping him long. During the ride, I kept rubbing my neck thinking about the man I just danced with. I realized that I don't even know his name. But it didn't matter. I enjoyed every moment of the dance. The cab driver dropped 5 minutes away from my house. I paid him his money and started trekking home. The weather was chilly, and since I am putting on a tiny dress, I am feeling a little bit cold. I took off my shoes as soon as I reached our lawn. I silently tiptoed into the house and into my room successfully without getting caught. I changed my dress into my nightwear and slept off with a big smile on my face. That night, I dreamt about the hot stranger I danced with. Chapter 3. Xander's POV. Well, Mr. Cage, I must say that I am quite impressed with your proposal. Although I have not expected more than this from you with all the good reviews I have heard about your company, Mr. Chu said. Thank you, sir. We try our best to give the best to our client, I said. I am happy that he is impressed with our work, but I have a feeling that there is a but coming. Mr. Chu is a very big client of ours. He is currently the richest man in Asia. He owns a chain of empires ranging from different sectors. He is currently looking for someone to build his new estates and also design the trucks for all his factories. Since I own the biggest construction company in America, my company is among the ones that got recommended to him. My team and I worked 20 hours daily for the last 2 weeks. I am confident enough to say that he will choose us. So I don't know what is possibly holding him back. I can see that. I would love to give the contract, but there is only one problem, Mr. Hu said. What is it? Surely we can solve it, I answered him. I doubt as much. The thing is that I have a policy about giving bachelor's contracts. They are usually not serious about it. Especially the ones that are young. They are still immature, period. Mr. Hu explained with an apologia look on his face. I knew it would get to this. A lot of people use this as an excuse. Just because I am 24, that doesn't mean I am immature. I mean, for God's sake, I am running a multi-billion-dollar company successfully. And damn those paparazzi and their love for gossip. There is a reason why a lot of people see me as a playboy. Once they see me with a girl, the next is that I am in the papers with the girl being addressed as my new fling. I don't want to lose this contract for any reason. This contract is going to be my key to joining the Asian business world, and so I need it. That should not be a problem then. I recently got married. I don't want it to be put in the public yet. I am keeping it a secret for now, I lied. I made a silent prayer and wished that he would believe me. My personal assistant and secretary looked at me, but I gave them glare to shut them off. Really, Mr. Cage, that is good news. Congratulations to you. In that case, the contract is yours, Mr. Hu said. Thank God he bought the lie. Thank you, Mr. Hu. I assure you that you won't regret your decision, I trust you, my boy. Although I would like to meet your wife before I sign the contract, I am inviting you for dinner at my house on Sunday, Mr. Hu declared. Well, I am in for it. Sure, Mr. Hu, we will be there, I assured him. Mr. Hu and his workers stood up to leave. I accompanied them to the elevator before I headed to my office. I sat in my office thinking of what to do with the situation. I could easily look for an actress or a model to act as my wife, but those girls can be so clingy and I don't have the strength to deal with something like that. You got married and you didn't inform me, period. Rick shouted as soon as he barged into my office. He is the only one that has the right to do so. If it was another person, he would probably be dead by now. Rick has been my best friend since we were kids. His father was the gardener of my grandparents' house while his mom is the cook. I had no friends since I don't normally go out of the house, and so I am struck with him. When I became the Mafia Don, I chose to be my next in command. He also works as the COO of my company. Afternoon to you too, Rick. I rolled my eyes at him. Save the greeting, Cage. Period. Let's talk about the matter at hand. Period. Rick said and took a seat opposite me. I didn't marry you, moron. I snapped at him. But the news has already circulated the whole office. But if the news is fake, it means that you lied about it. Bravo. I can see that your sense is still intact. I hailed him. Wow, I don't think you had it in you to say such a lie, but what do I expect from a Don like you? Anywhere. What are you going to do now? Since apparently Mr. Who wants to meet your so-called wife, Rick said with an evil look on his face. He is surely enjoying my dilemma. I don't, but I really need a drink right now. I said, running my hand over my hair. In that case, what are we waiting for? Let's go. Period. Rick said, and he stood up. I shook my head at him and went after him. Rick and I went to one of our clubs to have a drink. Nick and Joe, our other buddies, were already waiting for us there. We went straight to the VIP lounge upstairs. Once I took my seat, I started drinking. Chill, dude. What is wrong? Nick asked me, but I gave him no reply. Allow him to be. He is celebrating his marriage. Rick said as he took a sip of his drink. Marriage. Period. Nick and Joe echoed at the same time. Yes. Period. Rick smirked. When did you get married? Nick asked. I didn't. I need Mr. Who's contract, but according to him, he only offers it to married people. Period. I briefly explained. Lamed. Period. Joe stated. I know. So what's the update about our container? Period. I switched the topic. I hate it when I am the subject of discussion. Everything is going according to plan. The idiots wanted to cause problems, but we handled them well. Joe explained. Both Joe and Nick are part of my Mafia organization. Good. Inform me when it arrives. I already have someone who is interested in buying the weapons. Okay, boss. Joe answered. We all continued drinking and chatting. I look over to the dance floor, and that is when I notice her. She is wearing a short lava red dress that hugged tight like a second body. The back of the dress is entirely open, leaving her bare. She is also wearing red heels and red lipstick. She looks like a real seductress. Although there is something about her that screams innocent, the girl is about 5.5 feet, which can be considered short to my height of 6.1. She is freely dancing with two other girls whom I guess are her friends. She must have felt my eyes on her because she turned around and looked directly at me. I am not sure if she can see me completely because I am upstairs. We kept looking at each other for a while before she turned around and continued dancing. She started tweaking to the beat of the music. Her backside is directly facing me. I have a feeling she is putting on a show for me. I let out a groan when she tweaked, going up and down slowly in a seductive manner. She has a great body shape and my body reacts to her. Well, that is a first. I am not the type that usually gets aroused by seeing a girl just dance. I had enough of her teasing, so I dropped my drink and headed downstairs. I went straight for her. She turned around and looked up to where I was seated. I could see the look of disappointment on her face when she saw that I was no longer there. I place my hand on her waist and she turns to face me. She relaxed when she realized that I am the one holding her. I pulled her close to me and whispered into her ears. I am not the kind of person you tease and get away with, me, Akira, and who told you that I want to get away with it? Period. She wrapped her small hands around my neck. Her voice sounds like the voice of an angel. You have no idea what you are asking for. I let out a laugh. She didn't say anything, so I started to move our body to the rhythm of the music. She followed my lead. Before I knew it, she turned around and started to press her body on mine. I pulled her closer to me until her whole back was pressed against my front. She must have loved my action because she started to move her body more seductively. I could feel myself already getting harder. I could not help myself, so I started to drop light kisses on her shoulders. She arches her back as she bare her neck to me. Good. I like the fact that I am affecting her just as she is affecting me too. You have no idea what you are doing to me, Akira. I huskily whispered into her ears. I am definitely going home with her tonight. Just before she could reply to me, an alarm rang. It was coming from her lap. I have got to go, she said, and before I could react, she fled. I wanted to follow after, but that won't speak well of my reputation. I stood immediately on the dance floor alone and aroused. Just great. I am not one of those guys that jack themselves when they are Hawaiian, so I need some release. I signal at Kisha to follow me and she gladly did. Kisha is my own personal whore in this club. For every club I own, I have a different girl. That's the peck of being a mafia don. She followed me into my private suite. Get on your knees, I commanded. Kisha understood what I needed. She came and kneeled in front. She opened my zip and pulled my junior out. She eagerly put it in her mouth and began to suck. I held her hair as I guided her movement. I close my eyes and imagine a certain girl in a dress on her knees instead of Kisha. Chapter 4. Ashely's POV. I woke up the next day feeling very happy. I'm now 18. Legally I am now an adult who can do whatever she feels like doing. I recalled everything that happened last night. I closed my eyes and seized my hand over my neck as I imagined the stranger's lips on my neck. It felt so good. Heck, it doesn't feel good. I can still smell him on me. I wonder if this is what it feels like to be with a man. I have never had a boyfriend, so I have no idea. Now I know why Lisa and the rest can't stay away from guys. I rhythm a tone as I make my way downstairs. I freeze as I reach the kitchen. Both of my parents were sitting down looking as if they were waiting for someone. Dear God, please let it not be me they are waiting for. I'm not ready for any trouble this morning. Good morning, I managed to greet them. My heart was beating very fast because of the fear of uncertainty. What is good about the morning, my dearest daughter? Period. Dad asks in a hostile voice. I kept quiet because I knew better than to reply to him. I just hope they didn't know about my outing yesterday. Since you are never useful in this house, we decided to, my mom started to say before my dad hit her on the back. Anywhere, it's been a long time since we all went out together. So we are going out for breakfast today, my dad stated. I found that very suspicious. The last time we all went out to eat was 6 years ago. Why then are we doing that today? Maybe they want to change for the better. I thought, but somewhere in the back of my mind I knew something was wrong somewhere. Before I could protest that I can't go, Mom got up from where she sat and held my hand in hers very tightly. Let's go. Period. Dad said with a big smile on his face as if he won or is about to win a lottery. Something is definitely wrong. We made our way to the car. Dad entered the driver's seat while Mom and I sat in the back seat without Mom letting go of my hands even for a minute. As we drove, I noticed that we were driving towards the outskirts of the town to the side where all dangerous activities are done. Where the heck are we going? I questioned silently in my mind as fear began to creep its way into my heart. We soon arrived at a building that is painted by different dark graphics arts. Looking at the building, it screams danger. Dad parked the car and came out of the car. Mom followed next, and when she saw that I didn't want to get out, she forcefully dragged me out and started dragging me towards the building. My heartbeat is pumping very fast. I didn't like the feeling and the vibe I am getting about this place. Dad knocked at the big iron door and a huge man whose body is covered in tattoos opened the door and gave us a question. We are here to see Pablo. He is expecting us, my dad explained to the man with a shaking voice, although he tried his best not to sound intimidating. Are you Mr. Johnson? The guy asked. Yes, that's me. Period. My dad responded, and the guy led us into the building. I can't help but close my nose with my free hand as we walked into the building. The entire place smells like weed, drugs and alcohol. This may be the place where Mom and Dad buy their fix. But why am I with them today? Or maybe they wanted to get their fix before we head for breakfast. I tried to reason why they brought me together with them. We walked across the hallway until we reached an office at the far end of the building. 2 guys were stationed at the front of the door to the office. They searched us before allowing us to enter. In the office, a man was sitting in the head chair. He has tattoos all over the visible part of his body. Looking at him makes me feel like I am looking at one of the descendants of the devil. I guess that is Pablo. Well, I didn't expect to see you so soon, Mr. Johnson, the man said as he smoked the weed in his hands. I don't want to get on your bad side, so I came as early as possible, my dad answered back. Is she the one? Period. He stared directly at me and my legs began to shake out of fear. What the heck does he mean by am I the one? Period. I try to think of a logical reason for what is going on here. Yes, she is. Period. My dad responded. And are you sure she is untouched? Period. The man questioned my dad yet again. Yes, she is. My dad proudly answered. I honestly don't like where this conversation is heading to. Good. Then here is your payment. The man handed my dad an envelope which my dad gladly received while smiling. You can go now, the man commanded. Mom let go of my hands for the first time and she and dad turned to go. I also turned to follow them, happy that we are finally leaving this creepy place. And where do you think you are going? Period. The guy who opened the door for us asked me as he blocked the door. What do you mean by that? I'm going home with my parents obviously, I stated, looking confused as to why he asked such questions. Then suddenly they all started to laugh. From the man to my parents. I wonder what is funny about what I said. Oh dear, there is nothing like home to you now, the man emphasized on the word home as he finally stopped laughing. What do you mean? Period. I asked, allowing fear to show on my face. Your parents sold you to me. They owe me $10,000 and since they can't pay, they sold you off to me with an addition of $5. You now belong to me and this is your new home, the man sitting at the head seat explained with an evil look on his face. What? There is no way that will be true. I know my parents aren't the best parents in the world, but I refuse to believe that they will sell me. But when I looked at my parents and saw the expression on their faces, I knew that indeed they had just sold me. Why? Why? I asked them as tears started falling down from my eyes. I never thought that a day like this would come in my life. Why not? Enjoy your stay here, my mom spat as she blew a kiss towards my direction. Her and dad then left. I didn't make any attempt to follow them. I just sat there on the floor crying my heart out at such betrayal. I can't believe my parents sold me just because of their greed for money. That's enough. Roy, take her to the ladies, let them get her ready for tonight. I have a feeling she will be very profitable, the devil's decedent commanded the Hulk guy who started dragging me out of the office. I didn't even try to protest because these guys look like they can kill me in a second if I misbehaved. They might as well kill me because I'm already feeling dead. I can't believe that a parent will do this to their own child. As the Hulk continues to drag me, I continue to wonder in my mind what is going to happen tonight. Chapter 5. We soon arrived in a room that looked like a showhouse dressing room. The Hulk continued to drag until the end of the room where some ladies were sitting down. The boss wants you to get her ready for the audition, the Hulk said to a woman who is wearing a black vest showing off the butterfly tattoo on her right arm. She had her hair packed in a bun. The woman nodded her head at him, keeping her face expressionless. The Hulk left me with the woman who kept eyeing me up and down. Wait, what does he mean by getting her ready for the audition? Are they planning on reselling me again or what? Period. I silently wondered because I am too scared to speak out loud. Let's get you washed up. Period. The woman finally spoke up and brought me out of my thoughts. She beckoned on me to follow her. Strip. Period. The woman commanded as soon as we entered the bathroom. What? Period. I screamed. Never in my life have I ever removed my clothes in front of someone, and I definitely don't what you started today. You had me. Strip or I will call Roy to come and force you to do so. Believe me, you won't like that, the woman said in a firm voice. I started taking off my clothes as tears started rolling down my eyes for the second time. I feel so molested right now. I hold my hands around my body as tears continue to fall out of my eyes. The woman pointed at the shower stall. I got in the stall and washed myself using the cold water. After I was done, the woman passed me a rope which I wrapped around my body as we went back into the dressing room. I wanted to ask her about the audition but fear wouldn't allow me to. She dried my hair and did my makeup. She then passed me a dress and sexy underwear to put on. The dress, if I can actually call it that, is very short and tight. It looks like something Lisa will wear. Thinking of Lisa made tears gather in my eyes. I can't believe I will never see my friends again. Don't you dare cry. You are going to damage the makeup, the woman ordered, and I nod my head at her. She passes me a long mirror so that I can look at myself. I honestly look good. And I look like a hooker too. The Hulk guy came in soon after and announced that it was time to go. The woman wished me good luck as Roy started pulling me out of the room. We went out of the building and I never appreciated fresh air in my life like I am doing just now. I noticed the place was already dark. So that means I have been here for almost the whole day. A car stopped right in front of us and Roy pushed me in. We arrived at a place that looks like a club but is being heavily guarded by huge men holding guns in their hands. All the cars in the parking lots were black and shining and they all screamed expensive. Roy waved at some of the guys as we walked towards the backside of the building. We entered the back door and Roy led me to a room where two people sat doing paperwork. They were both wearing black suits. "Behave or you won't like the consequences," Roy whispered into my ears as he left me in the room and left. I stood there not knowing what to do. "So what's your name? Period?" one of the guys asked. "Ashely," I answered in a tight voice, although I wanted to lie, but I know that I would not like the afterwards if they found out the truth. "Ashely who? Period?" "Ashely Johnson," I answered in a cracked voice, hating the fact that I am still using the name of a man who sold me. "So how old are you, Ashely? Period?" "I'm 18. How many guys have you slept with? Period?" "None," I answered as I now my head down. And so they kept asking me questions as if I were in an interview. After that, they called a lady to escort me to the lounge. When we arrived at the lounge, I saw girls about 26 in numbers similarly dressed like me. Some were looking scared while others were looking bold and confident as if they were here on their own will. "You are number 27, the lady said as she went out, leaving standing awkwardly. After standing for some minutes, I made my way to an empty sofa and sat down anxiously thinking about my fate. "Chill, you are not going to die," the lady sitting beside me said. "Although that depends on the type of audition you are here for and who buys you," another girl said. "Which type of audition are you here for? Period?" the girl asked me and I looked at her in confusion. "You don't know? That's unfortunate. Some of us here will just audition for a week and after that, you are free to go. Others for a month or even a year. The longer your contract is, the higher you earn," the girl explained to me. Oh, how I wish my own contract will only last for a day. I didn't even know which type I fall under. Then again, if the contract ends, does that mean I will go back to those people since my parents already sold me off to them? Still in my thoughts, I didn't notice that two ladies entered the room until they spoke. "Ladies, it's time. No one, you are up now," the ladies announced and went out of the room with the girl who is tagged no one following them. After some minutes, they came back for the second girl and it continued like that. The closer they get to my number, the more anxious I become. "No, 27, you are up now, the ladies said. I didn't even notice that I am the only one left. Well, here goes nothing. Period. I let out a deep breath as I stood up to follow them. Chapter 6. Someone lightly pushed me up the stairs. I was immediately blinded by the nightlight that shone on the stage. "No, 27, please move to the center of the stage. Period," the host announced. I slowly made my place in the center of the stage where the light shone so bright. I tried to take in the audience and to my surprise, they are all wearing masks over their faces. The only people whose faces are bare are the waiters serving the masked people. What is this? Some type of masked gathering? I wondered to myself. Okay, gentlemen, this is our No. 27 Ashely Johnson. She is 18 years old and the best part about her is that she is a virgin. Yes, that is right, a virgin. Young, fresh and untouched. So let's start bidding from $10,000, the host announced. I shiver in disgust at what is happening. I can't believe I am being sold and some bunch of useless men will now bid on me as if I am a piece of art. And good luck to them. I don't think anyone will pay in 10,000 or more on my head, 10,000, 15,000 inches, 25,000, 40,000 inches, 60,000 inches, 70,000 inches. Well, I guess I am wrong then. My eyes widened when I saw that almost all the men were bidding on me. Is it because I am a virgin? That must be it. I can't believe that in the end I am going to lose my virginity to an old man probably. The bidding went on and on until one man shut the whole place down. $1 million, a voice from behind said, causing the whole place to go quiet. Xander's POV. I woke up and found myself naked in my private suite in the club. I turned to the other side of the bed and it is empty. Good. At least Kishan knew better than to sleep in bed with me. I have never slept on a bed with girl except to have s. Once we are done, I send you out. Call me heartless. I don't care. Kisha was able to get my mind off of the lady from yesterday. Just at the thought of her, my body is already becoming hard. I cleared my head. I don't have time to think about her. I took a shower and changed my clothes and headed downstairs. Good morning, boss. I didn't know you slept here, Hugo greeted me. He is the one in charge of managing the club. I waved at him and went out of the building. I hate explaining myself to people. I went out of the club and found my driver Denver waiting for me already. Good morning, Mr. Cage, where to? He asked once I entered the car. Morning, Denver. Drive me home, I replied to him and turned to face the window. And by home I mean the Mafia's house. The Mafia is more than just an organization, we are a family. I have my own personal house and so does all of the boys, but we mostly stay at the Mafia house. Here we are, boss, Denver came out and opened the door for me. Thank you, Denver, period. I exclaimed and went to the house. Is that the walk of shame you are doing, period? I heard someone shout as I passed the dining room. I made a U-turn and went to the dining room. I found Rick and Joe eating. Why will I do a walk of shame in my own building, I question as I pull out a seat and sit. Morning, boss, Joe greeted me and I waved at him. So did you do your assignment, I asked Rick, who looked confused. What assignment, period? He asked. You are slacking too much these days. I ask you to look for a solution about my non-existent wife, I remained with him. Oh, that. For a minute I thought I forgot about a mission. So about that, I have found a solution already, go ahead, I am listening, okay, so instead of hiring an actress or a model and also dealing with their constant nagging, why don't you buy yourself a wife, Rick suggested. What the hell, Rick? Are you crazy, period? I ask him. I understand where his suggestion is coming from. Think about it. If you buy her, that means you can actually control her for as long you want without having no problem. Moreover, you need someone you can constantly go to events with. That way, everyone will believe that you are no longer a player, and that will bring you more respect in the business world. And more connection means more power in the Mafia world, Rick explained. As much as I don't want to admit, he actually has a point. I have lost some minor business deals in the past because of my so-called reputation. His idea is not actually that bad. But I am not going to tell him that. His head is just going to get bigger than it is. Okay, and where is the best place to get one, I asked him. A lot of Mafia organizations are into selling and trafficking of girls. My own organization is not involved in such activities. The Alpha Club. The best part about theirs is that the girls are there with their own consent and you don't have to show your face. Everyone wears a mask, period. Rick explained with a grin on his face. He is surely proud of himself. Good then. You, Joe and I will go there tonight, and this better stay between us, okay? I ordered them, and without waiting for any reply, I stood up and left the dining room, Currently, Joe, Rick and I are now in the club. I am wearing a thick mask over our face because that way, nobody is going to face. I look around the club, everyone is wearing a mask and so you can't recognize anyone. I like the fact that they are keeping their clients' faces anonymous. For all we know, the president himself may be present here, The audition soon started and I can't find myself liking any of the girls. Soon more than 20 girls auditioned. I have a feeling that we just wasted our time and came here. Period. Rick murmured, but I ignored him and kept looking at the stage. My breath got struck when I saw the girl that entered as No 27. I can't believe it. It is the girl I danced with the other day. What is she doing here? Okay, gentlemen. This is our No 27, Ashely Johnson. She is 18 years old, and the best part about her is that she is a virgin. Yes, that is right. A virgin. Young, fresh and untouched. So let's start bidding from $10,000, the host announced. 18 years. I knew as young, but I didn't expect her to be that young and a virgin. I surely didn't expect that. I groan in anger when I see how the men were eagerly bidding on her. She is mine, I wanted to shout out. Wait, what? Where is this thought coming from? The men kept on bidding on her and I didn't realize when I lifted my banner I shouted, $1 million. Everyone in the room turned to look at me, including Joe and Rick. 1 million going 1, 2, 3, and sold, the host announced, and Ashely was sent off the stage. Please sir, follow me so that you can make your payment and get her, one of the organizers walked up to me. I stood up and signaled Joe and Rick to follow me too. We went to the office, and after that, a frightened Ashely was brought to us. I don't understand why she feels afraid though. I thought the girls are here by their own wish. Period. Let's go, I said to her and started to pull her along with Joe and Rick following behind us. I have already instructed Rick on what to do, and so he drove to the marriage registration office. A marriage certificate has already been prepared and our names and signatures remain on it. Once we reached the office, I pulled her out of the car. Rick and Joe have already ripped off their mask, but I kept mine on. The certificate was presented to us and I wrote mine and signed and passed the pen for her to do so. I don't want to get married to you, she nervously said. Well, sweetheart, that's not for you to decide, I said and brought out my gun. When she saw what was in my hand, she took the pen and with her hands shaking, she signed the certificate. Good. After that, we drove to the house and Joe and Rick left me with her. I ripped the mask on my face and turned to look at her. You, she exclaimed with her mouth wide open when he saw my face. Chapter 7. Ashely's POV. You, I exclaimed when I saw the face of the man. It was the man I danced with yesterday at the club. But why is he doing this? Is it because I left him on the dance floor yesterday? Maybe that's why. Surprise me, Akira. Period. He grinned at me, making me more furious than I was already. Why are you doing this? Is it because I left you hanging on the dance floor yesterday? I asked him. He looked at me confused at first because he started laughing. He has one of the most beautiful laughs I have ever heard. Damn. Snap out of it, Ashely. No need to start ting after him while we are having an important conversation. I must admit you are more funny than Kelvin Hart. You think I am doing all this because you ran away from our moment of dance last night. I barely didn't even notice your presence. Once you are gone, I have someone else take care it. You know what I mean, he winked at me. I cringed at the thought of it. Too much information. I am not interested in whatsoever he does. Then why are you doing all this? Why did you bring me? I hated the fact that I have to say brought me as if I am property. You should be grateful for that. You would have end up with an old pervert or worse, someone may buy you as a sex slave, he stated. As much as I hate to admit, what he actually said is true. My fear was that I would end up as a sex slave, but thank the heavens it didn't happen. Well, at least not yet. Like seriously, what is the difference? You force me into marriage with you and I can't understand why, because I know that you can get any girl you want since you are so hot. I regretted saying the last part as soon as I said it because I just boosted his ego the most and confirmed to him that I found him hot. It's nice to know that you find me hot. And for the reason why I married you is none of your business. He started making me angry. It is my damn business. Period. I shouted at him. Watch your tongue. Just because I am smiling at you does not mean you should forget your place. It's time you shut up. Come with me, I will show you to you. He snapped at me in a hard voice. I was too shocked to react, and so I followed him quietly as we climbed the stairs. The whole place is dark and quiet. I don't know if there are other people around. As we walked up the stairs, he stopped in front of a door. He opened it and switched on the light in the room. This is your room. Make yourself at home, he ordered before he left without waiting for me to say anything. Such a rude man he is. Make yourself at home, I repeated in his voice before I entered the room. I stare at the room with my mouth wide open. The room is as big as the whole ground floor in my parents' house. The walls of the room are purely painted cream and the curtains are ashen color. In the middle of the room is a mighty king-size bed with an ash fur duvet right in front of it. At the right side of the room is a mini lounge with 2 sofa seats, a coffee table and a big Samsung HD 3D plasma television on the wall. At the left side is a mini library containing a desk, a chair, a cabinet and 2 bookshelves. There are also 3 other doors apart from the one it is standing by. One of the doors, it's a double door. Out of curiosity, I went and opened the double door. It leads to a very large balcony. On the balcony is a relaxing chair and a sofa. There were also flowers of different colors. But that wasn't the beauty of the balcony. From the balcony, one could see the clear view of the sea shining like a diamond in the cool of the night. I went back into the room and checked the other door. It leads to an empty walk-in closet. The empty closet pleased me because that shows that this isn't the man's room. I don't want to share a room with him. The last door leads to an ensuite. I have never seen such a bathroom except in the movies. It has a big shower, a jacuzzi and even a sauna. I must admit the room is very beautiful. I yawned and sat on the sofa and took off my shoes and the jewelry. The only problem I have now is what to wear. I can't sleep in this cloth because it is tight and so I will feel uncomfortable. After much thought, I decided to sleep naked since I don't have anything to wear. I locked the door before I stripped out of my dress. I moan as soon as my back touches the bed. The bed is so soft that it seems as if I am being seated. The luxury and comfort of this room made me almost forget all about today. Xander's POV. This is your room. Make yourself at home. Once I spoke those words to her, I left her there and went downstairs. I am not so sure if I should leave her there with no guidance, but then she is in my private wing, so I doubt if something will happen to her. I smiled when I remembered her words earlier on. I can't believe she thought that I brought her because she left me on the dance floor. Such a naive thought. I head towards the direction of the basement. I have a guest whom I must attend to waiting for me. I meet Rick waiting at the door that leads to the basement. As soon as he saw me, he opened the door and we started to head down the stairs. I didn't expect you to join us tonight, Don. I thought you were going to enjoy your wedding night. Rick, who is walking beside me, sarcastically said. Well, I don't. I use this night and blow out your brains. That will be a wonderful wedding present for myself. What do you think? Period. I asked him. It was just kidding. Period. Rick answered with his hands up in surrender. We walk down the stairs and reach another door which one of my men is guarding. Luke, is my guest ready for me? I asked. Yes, Don. He answered and opened the door for us. We stepped into the dark room and I flicked the light on. In the middle of the room is my awaited guest Yax. He is tied to a chair with his hand tied to the back and a gag in his mouth. His eyes were wide open and terrified. Do you know why you are here tied to a chair, Yax? I asked. No, Don, I didn't do anything wrong, I swear. Period. Yax shakily said. I took out a cigarette and lit it up. You know how I hate being lied to, don't you? I asked him as I stood right in front of him. I know, Don. I swear on my mother's grave that I didn't do anything wrong. I can never betray you, Don. Yax statement. His last statement made me more furious than I was already. I pressed the lighted cigarette on the side of his neck before I punched him hard. I beckoned on Joe to come forward. Rick opened the iPad in his hand and showed his pictures together with the Don of another Mafia organization. Earlier last month, my shipment was attacked and stolen by another Mafia. And since then we have been trying to track down who dared to steal from me. Turns out that one of my top men is their informant. Don, please forgive me, I didn't mean to. He threatened to harm my family. I had no choice but to agree. Yax cried out. He must be stupid to think that I will buy such stupid and predictable explanation. You had no choice, you say. Everyone always has a choice. Did you come to me for protection and I denied you? No, it was your greed that made you do it. I spat at him. Don, please forgive me. I won't do it again. Period. Yax pleaded. Yes, you are right. You won't do it again. I will make sure of that. And with that, I took out my gun and shot him on his forehead. Call the cleaning team to get rid of his body. I said and walked out of the basement. Chapter 8. Xander's POV. When I woke up the next day, I went downstairs and found Rick sitting in the lounge room. Tell all the men to gather in the dining hall. I instructed him. I went to the kitchen and made my coffee before I headed to the dining hall. I found all the men sitting and waiting for me. Greetings to all of you. Greetings, Don, all the men echoed. I have 2 pieces of news to share with all of you today. The first one is that we have finally found the mole that sold information about our shipment to the clan's Mafia. I said and looked at their faces. I am good at studying people, so I wanted to be sure that Yax was working alone. None of them look scared or guilty, so we are good to go for now. It's Yax. I said and I saw the look of shock on their faces. I am very sure they didn't expect him to do something like that. I didn't expect him to. Yux was born into the Mafia just like Rick and I, and so he was supposed to understand that the Mafia don't tolerate betrayal. Where is he done so that we can send him to hell? Nico, one of the men furiously said with his hand balled into a fist. Trust Nico to always be ready to die for the Mafia. Don't worry, he is already in hell. I said, and the faces of the men held satisfaction. He should serve as a lesson to all of you. I don't tolerate betrayal. You all took an oath before you joined this organization and made sure you kept to it. And now that he is gone, Douglas, you are taking him position as the assistant head of shipment, understood? Period. I declared. The men clapped for Douglas and the ones close to him sake him. Thank you, boss. I promise not to disappoint you, Douglas vowed. I am counting on your words. Make sure you keep them. Douglas nodded his head at me and touched the tattoo on his shoulder. The tattoo, which is the drawing of an axe with a small handle and letters XXX written under it, is a sign that represents our Mafia organization. Every member and worker of our Mafia has the tattoo on either their right hand arm or the back of their neck or on the upper part of their back for those that don't want the tattoo to be seen. By touching the tattoo, Douglas pledges his loyalty to the organization. As for the second news, I want to inform all of you that I am married. I dropped the bomb and took a sip of my coffee. The whole room became silent. Their jaws were dropped to the ground out of shock except Rick, Joe and Nick. I am sorry, boss, but it's as if you just said you are married. Period. Diego got the courage to ask. I wasn't talking with spit in my mouth, was I? Period. I glared at Diego, who swallowed hard. Wow, congratulations, boss. When are we going to meet our queen? One of the men asked and the other agreed with him. I could introduce you to her now, but she is still asleep, maybe another time. Do any of you have anything to say? I asked. Nick looked as if he wanted to talk, so gave him a go-ahead. Boss, sorry, I just wanted to remind you of the organization's tradition. Nick said. Which of the traditions are you referring to? I asked him. The Mafia has many traditions which we follow, so I wonder which among them he is referring to too. We usually have a dinner party for the new couple among us. Oh, that tradition. Whenever any of the men finally settle down, we organize a party and introduce the spouse to the whole organization. Although I am not interested, I can't say now because that will be breaking a tradition that has existed before I was born. Okay, when do you want to hold the party? I ask. This weekend. That is if it's okay with you, boss. Nick said. Okay, weekend it is then. I will inform my wife about it. You are all dismissed. And with that, I stood up and left the dining hall. It seems very strange for me to say this to my wife. I can't believe I was single just a day before yesterday and now I am a married man. I laugh at the thought of it. I made my way upstairs to Ashely's room. I tried to open the door, but it's locked. Very good, at least she is conscious of her security. I knock on the door and wait for her to open it. Ashely's POV. A knock on the door woke me up. I grumbled as I rolled over the bed. I had one of the best sleep in my entire life. The peck of sleeping on a soft bed. Looking around the room, I remember everything that happened in the last 24 hours. First my parents sold and then I auditioned and now I am married to a dangerous stranger. All this is enough to break me down, but I am stronger than this. I am coming. Period. I yelled when the knock on the door persisted. I got up from the bed and went and opened the door without checking who it was. Because I am sure that it has to be my so-called husband. Wow, if this is the view I will see every morning, then I am so glad I got married. My so-called husband whistled when I opened the door for him. I looked at him as if he was crazy and then I remembered that I had no clothes on. I shouted and closed the door on his face. You are so stupid, Ashely. So stupid. Period. I scold myself and I rumble my head. How can I have forgotten that I had no clothes except for lacy black pants? I am coming in. I heard the voice on the other side of the door. I quickly ran into the bathroom. I heard the door open. You can come out. No need to be shy. After all, I am your husband. I heard him say that, but I didn't give him any reply. Ashely, if you did not come out in the next 5 seconds, I will enter and meet you there. He warned. Something told me that he is not joking, and so I put the bathrobe and went out of the bathroom and found him sitting on my bed. I am actually disappointed. He said as his eyes ranked my whole body. I rolled my eyes at him. Suit yourself, L. I murmured. What did you say? He asked. I don't have any clothes to wear, I stated. I figured that out. I will give my card to one of my men and he will take you out shopping, that is if you didn't promise to run away, he said, and I looked at him. He is nicer than I expected. I can't run even if I want to. I don't have anywhere to go, I said. Better be that way or you won't like the consequences. I will send the maid to bring you an outfit to wear for now. Make sure you get ready in 2 hours time. Period. See you later, Mia Cara, he blew me a kiss before he left. A few minutes later, a maid brought me a gown to wear. The gown looks new and so I don't have to feel irritated about wearing a piece of cloth that has probably been worn by his sluts. I headed downstairs for an extra 2 hours and saw a name standing at the end of the stairs. I cleared my throat and he turned to look at me. I recognized him yesterday. He is one of the men together with my so-called husband. Chapter 9. Good morning, Mrs. Cage. Your husband asked me to accompany you to the mall, the man said. I feel very awkward being referred to as MRS. Ashely. Period. I said, and I saw the confused look on his face. Call me Ashely, I stated. He nodded and we went out of the house. Strangely, the house is empty just like yesterday night. In front of the house is the latest Rolls-Royce Phantom car. He opened the back seat for me and I entered before he entered the driver's seat. I look around the interior of the car. I don't know much about cars but I am sure that this car cost a fortune. What is your name? Period. I asked him after 5 minutes of driving. Joe. Period. He replied. Joe. No offense but what sort of name is that? I wonder why someone should name their child Joe. It's the short form of Joseph. He answered. Wow, like Joseph from the Bible. With all his muscular body and tattoos, he surely doesn't look like Joseph. I understand why you use the short form Joe. You look more like a Joe and not a Joseph. Period. I told him and he laughed. After that none of us talked and everywhere became silent again. What's his name? I asked. Who? The man that forced me to marry him. What is his name? Period. I asked. I refused to refer to him as my husband. Joe laughed before he answered. Don't forget that he is also the man who saved you from the possibility of being sold into sex slavery. His name is Xander Cage. Xander Cage. The name seems familiar but I don't remember where I heard the name from. From the look on your face, you don't know him, do you? He asked. Well, the name seems familiar but I don't remember where I heard of it, I honestly answered. You must live under a rock then. I thought all the girls in New York worship him. By the way, he owns Cage Construction and Cage Industry and also is the sexiest man of the year. Period. Joe introduced me. Now I remember where I heard his name from. Lisa and Eunice are crazy about him. I can't believe I am married to their ultimate crush. They will be so green with envy. We are here, Mrs. Cage, Joe said and got out of the car and opened the door for me. You can buy whatever you want. The bills are on Xander. Period. Joe happily said. We entered the store and Joe followed me everywhere. I am very sure it was Xander's instructions. I will choose an outfit and try it in, then Joe will decide if I should take it or not. Turns out that he is the only boy in his family and had 5 sisters and so he knows a lot about female fashion. I had fun spending time with Joe. We were almost done with shopping and I needed to act fast. I excused myself from Joe and told him that I was going to the washroom. I had earlier stuck some clothes to the washroom when I came in earlier. I opened the cabinet under the sink and took out the clothes. A pair of blue jeans, a V-neck shirt and a face cap. I changed into the outfit and went out of the washroom. I used the face cap to cover my face when I passed Joe. I let out a breath when I successfully left the mall without being seen. I am now free. A part of me remembers Xander's warning about escaping but now I don't care. I just want to enjoy my moment of freedom. Since the mall is not far from the Central Park, I decided to go there first. I didn't know how many hours I sat on a bench in the Central Park until I felt a hand tap on my shoulders from the back. Xander's POV. Sir, are you listening? My secretary called my name to bring me out of my thoughts. Sure, carry on. I replied even though my mind is not here since she started to read the report. I kept thinking of a certain ginger hair girl that seems to affect me more than any other girl. The picture of her standing in nothing except for the lace thong refuses to leave my memory. It took a lot of self-control for me not to jump on her when she opened the door. I groaned as I remembered her firm breast and erected pink nipples that were calling on me to worship them. Sir, should I come back later? Period. My secretary asked when she saw my attention wasn't on her. I am listening, you can, I started to say before I saw the cutoff with my ring. It's Joe. Yes, Joe, I asked him. I am sorry, boss, your wife managed to run away from me, Joe reported. What? How did that happen? Did I give you instructions not to let her out of your side? Period. I yelled into the phone. I am sorry, boss, she told me that she wanted to use the washroom. She tricked me, Joe explained. How could you be foolish enough to be tricked by a teenager? Where are you now, I asked. At the mall near the Central Park, good. Call Ace and ask him to hack into the mall's camera system. We need to know if she is still in the mall or not. I am on my way, period. I instructed Joe. Lucy, I need to go, we will continue this later, period. I informed my secretary. I understand, sir, period. Lucy said and packed up the files and immediately left the office. On the elevator ride to the ground floor, I closed Denver and told him to bring the car to the front of the company. Where is the boss? Denver asked me once I entered the car. The mall is close to the Central Park, I informed him. I unbuttoned the 3 top buttons of my shirt and removed my tie. Damn this girl. If she thinks she will get away from me, she is mistaken. I have been too soft with her. I will show her the consequences of disobeying me once we find her. I meet Joe standing in front of the mall. Ace had hacked the system of the mall and got us the video. We saw how she hid the clothes in the washroom sink before she came back later and changed into it. That's why Joe wasn't able to recognize her. Since she doesn't have any money on her, I doubt she will go far. I already have an idea where she will be. I walk into the Central Park and looked around. Since it is already dark and on a weekday so the park is empty, just a few people present. I saw her sitting at the far end of the park. I walked to her and tapped her on her shoulders. She immediately became Strive. Stand up and turn around, period. I ordered in a low cold voice. Please, period. She pleaded without doing what I asked her. I said stand up. I yelled and she immediately stood up and turned to look at me. I could see fear in her eyes. Good, I need her to know who is the boss here. Now, I want to walk to the car. Don't even try to make a scene or you will regret it. Period. Do you understand? I asked her and she nodded. We started to walk to the car, but as foolish as she was, she saw a policeman standing nearby and ran to him before I could stop her. Please, please help me, she cried to him. The policeman looked at me and before he could say anything, I removed the gun and shot him on his forehead. Ashely shouted when she saw his body fall next to her. Next time it will be you, I grabbed her and pushed her into the car. Joe called the cleaning team to come and get rid of this fast and make sure they don't leave a trace, I instructed before I entered the car and sat next to the weeping Ashely. Denver, drive us to the Amir's Club. I am going to return this bitch and get back my money. Period. I instructed. Chapter 10. Ashely's POV. Denver, drive us to the Amir's Club. I am going to return this bitch and get back my money. Period. Xander instructed his driver and my heart stopped beating. What does he mean he wants to return to me? That can't be good. I am very sure that it will end up badly on my own part. I don't know why I was foolish enough to run to the policeman. Now look at the result. The poor man got killed because of me. I have a guess that Xander belongs to a mafia organization or something related to that. But I didn't think that he would have the balls to shoot a police officer in the open. Please, I am sorry, don't take me back there, I pleaded with Xander, who refused to even acknowledge my presence. I kept on crying until we arrived at the familiar building. Get out, period. Xander yelled at me but I shook my head. Don't try me, get out or I will pull you out myself. No please. I am sorry, I will do anything but don't take me back there, I cried as I pleaded with him. I have a feeling that I will die once I walk into that building. You would have thought of that before deciding to run away from me, period. Xander spat at me. I am sorry. I promise it won't happen again, I kept begging him. Xander sighed. Denver, change of plans. Take us to the dragon's place, comma. The driver drove away from the building. I don't even know if I should be relieved or not. Who is the dragon? And why are you going to his place? My head is already aching, so I placed my head on the side of the car. After driving for almost an hour through the busy streets of New York, we arrived in front of a building that screams gangster club. The entire building is covered with different scary street art. There are paintings of weapons, men killing and holding each other. How come the authorities allow this? Get out, comma, Xander ordered as he got out of the car himself. I am afraid of the unknown and so I refuse to leave the car. Xander hit his hand over the side of my window but I still refuse to go out. For God's sake, get out of the car. You won't like the consequences of disobeying his orders, Xander's driver shouted at me. I open the door and look at the pissed Xander. He did not say anything but started to walk to the building. I took it as a clue to follow him. We entered the building and everyone started to greet him, calling him boss. The place looks like a barber shop for thugs. They were people barbering, while some were watching a sport on the television. All of them look like thugs, which I can bet there are. They all have thick muscles and tattoos. Some even have tattoos on their faces. Very crazy, I know. Where is the dragon? Period. Xander asked. He is the upstairs boss. Period. We head up the stairs. The upper part of the building is a tattoo salon. A man walked to us with a smile on his face. He was big with broad shoulders and thick muscles. He had a dragon's tattoo on his right arm. No one need to tell me that he is the dragon. Boss, is nice to have you at my humble abode. Period. The man said, and he and Xander did some kind of bro handshake. How can I help you, boss? Comma, Dragon asked as he signaled for everyone in the room to leave. They all left what they were doing and walked out of the room, leaving just Dragon, Xander and I. I want you to mark her, comma, Xander said, and I looked at him with my eyes wide open. What the hell does he mean to have me marked? Comma, damn, she is part of the family now. She doesn't look like the type that can survive the Mafia life. Comma, Dragon laughed as he looked at me. That is because I can't survive the Mafia life. I screamed inside of my head. Do you want the tattoo done today or while you come back later on? Comma, Dragon asked. Now, comma, Xander said. Okay, princess, come and sit here. Period. Dragon beacon on me. I wanted to protest because I am scared of needles, but once I saw the look on Xander's face, I swallowed my words. I slowly made my way and sat on the seat. Where should I draw the tattoo? On your back or neck? Period. Dragon asked me. On my back, comma, I answered. I don't want to see it and be reminded that I have a tattoo. You need to take off your shirt for that, comma, Dragon instructed. What? Xander and I shouted together. I heard Dragon murmur something like, couple goals, comma, well, there is no way I can draw a tattoo on her back with her clothes still on her body, period. Dragon innocently stated. Xander did not reply but took a cutter from the table. He came and placed his hands on my shoulder. The next thing I felt is the upper part of my shirt being cut in the back. Here is a perfect solution, comma, Xander said and took his seat. Dragon shook his head at Xander before he started the draw. It was actually painful, but not as painful as I expected it to be. In less than an hour, Dragon was done. He covered the tattoo with a bandage and instructed not to open it until tomorrow. He also gave me a pain reliever because according to him, the real pain will hit me later on. We walked out of the building silently. Neither Xander nor I talked until we reached the house. It was a very long and boring ride. This time around, I saw a lot of guys over in the house. Everything about them screams danger. I ran upstairs without even talking to any of them. To my surprise, inside the rooms are the shopping bags. Joe must have brought it here. The door opened and Xander stepped in. Listen very carefully. If today ever repeats itself, don't hold me responsible for anything that happened. Secondly, you are banned from leaving this house except together with me. Understood, comma, Xander instructed. The anger I have been feeling since yesterday bubbled inside me and I shouted, I hate you, comma. Xander looked at me for a minute before he started taking steps toward me. I kept moving back until my back touched the wall. Oh darling, you are not the first to hate me and you won't be the last, comma, Xander whispered, looking directly into my eyes. I could not reply to him because my brain seems to freeze. I am affected by his hard body that is almost pressed to mine. I bit my lips as I drank. His hair is neatly gelled. I have the urge to run my hands over it. The top 3 bottom of his shirt is open, so I got a glimpse of his heart. The air between us seems to change and become tense. He seems to be affected because he kept staring at me too. Or should I say he kept staring at my lips. Stop biting your lips, Xander whispered in a voice darker than before. I absent-mindedly bit on my lower lips again and he sucked in a breath. He started to bend his head lower and I know that he wants to kiss me. I panicked. Without any thoughts, I slapped him. The time froze between us as Xander's eyes turned darker and dangerous. I started to stammer before Xander cut me off. You ain't lucky that my mom raised me not to hit girls or else. He didn't finish his sentence and punched the wall beside me before he left the room. I don't know if I should be happy or afraid that he walked out. I didn't mean to slap him, it just happened. I sat on the floor and started to cry. I don't know what I did to deserve this. I am so tired. The last 30 hours have been hell for me. I don't know how many hours I sat on the floor crying until the pain from my tattoo started to pain me and I got up to take the pain reliever drug.